The New York trip. It's the big one. The unholy confluence of the Open Hardware Summit and the New York World's Maker Faire make it the place to be if you're into hardware. And it's New York, the Big Apple. But to be honest, I'm not a fan of the city. It's spread out, the subway's a soaked sewer, and everything's so expensive. We always arrive at JFK. There's rumors of public transit to the city, but most everybody takes a cab.
So your first insult upon arriving in New York is the $100 cab ride into the city.
Well, maybe not $100, but nearly $70 with tolls and tips. Last year we stayed at the main conference hotel, clear out in Flushing. It's close to the Maker Faire, but not much else. So this year we rented an apartment for the same price in the happening East Village. A little too cool for us, but the food's good. This is where we start out our food crawl, as is tradition. It's a chance to get to know other hackers before conferences and sample the local scene.
We have a list with a bunch of different places on it. We can hit them, we can not hit them. We will go wherever you want. But I will warn you that this type of challenge, it will take a toll on your body and it will punish your toilet tomorrow. So I hope everybody has some preventative Imodium to take before they go to bed tonight.
We hit Otaisho for some meat on sticks, then down to Japadog for Japanese hot dogs. We forgot to shoot there. Then on to Decibel, a dingy basement sake bar.
What are you looking forward to this week, Parker?
I'm looking forward to the Open Hardware Conference and the Maker Faire that will be on Saturday.
I'm very interested in the business of open source hardware. I want to see what everyone else is up to. Kind of see where the market's going, what people are doing, and how they're dealing with the problems of open source hardware companies.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of great people and seeing some inspirational projects.
Looking forward to seeing a lot of projects. I rode down today with a guy who makes something called the True Mirror. It's two mirrors that are at right angles, so they're like this. One side reflects this side and one side reflects the other side of your face. So when you see yourself as how others see you.
I'm looking forward to just seeing all the cool projects people are working on, getting some of my own ideas, bouncing my ideas off people, and seeing if I can meet up and making a network of other geeks.
And what are you looking forward to?
Actually being able to talk geek with people. There's no hackerspace or anything within an hour and a half from my house, so for me to come out and be a geek, I've got to go big.
Okay, we have a dilemma here. How many more stops do you all want to do?
How many are left on the list?
Well, 30. But my thought...
After that we hit up a few other places, but who can really recall? Day 2 starts with a mild headache and a vague sense of shame. Jet lag doesn't help, but thank for that Imodium. We head just to the other side of Manhattan for the Open Hardware Summit.
It's the once-a-year industry conference where everybody involved in open source hardware is welcome to get together, exchange ideas, talk about problems that they face, and also interesting solutions they've discovered. It covers all aspects of open hardware, manufacturing to sales to licensing open hardware, dealing with governmental regulations, environmental regulations. This afternoon is primarily filled with speeches, then there's a lunch, and this evening there's a poster presentation and demos. And it's a once-a-year opportunity to meet and greet and see the people that you talk to online, or maybe you buy things from, or you know from their video blog, and here you get to meet them face-to-face and say hello. The walk-in shot. Hey, nice to see you. How's it going? This is John Janier. You may know him from Adafruit's website, regular contributor.
Oh, got it. Hi.
This is Yoshi, who we've met many times now.
Yeah.
I believe in Japan and China.
Yep.
And now here we are in New York. We're not the only ones checking in late, so I don't feel so bad. Hi, I'm a speaker, and I also have a sponsor ticket. The speaker should be under Ian, and the other one should be under Mad Skills, maybe. Thank you, thank you. What?
This is Cortex M3 M0 deep packaged processor.
Yeah, there's some talks, but you can catch those on YouTube. Let's skip to the after party.
We're here with Ashwin, who's from India. You're going to see him next month when we go on our global geek tour of India.
I've recently got into the open hardware, selling open hardware in India also, so I thought this would be a great way to learn more about it and also to see how we can do the same in India, I guess so.
We're here with Adrian, who's from Liverpool.
I am.
Why did you come so far to the Open Hardware Summit?
Well, like the last couple of years, I've just sort of watched it on the internet from afar and kind of gone, that looks like it's kind of really awesome, and there's all sorts of cool happening, so I need to get over there.
We're here with Wendell of Evil Mad Scientist Laboratories.
And Bunny.
You made the awesome open source hardware badges for the second year in a row.
Laid out a few designs. We actually used the Lego CAD software to lay out some models. We had to figure out how to get the right number of pieces of this lime green Lego, which is not one of the more common colors.
Yeah.
So we ended up purchasing 15,000 Lego bricks or so from 12 different sellers. And then once they all finally arrived at our shop, we had all of our staff basically drop what they were doing and build Lego for 2 days. We've seen a lot of hacks of these today. I expected a few people to fool with them, but I've just really been floored by what wild and different things people have.
So this is pretty cool. Wendell's doing some impromptu repair work on my badge. I managed to lose a couple throughout the day. I think you're giving me a bigger O than I had before. We're here with Wendy, who's the representative of the new Open Source Hardware Association. Can you tell us a little bit about the association and also why the where is emphasized?
The association is a relatively young organization. It's a nonprofit formed to support, among other things, the Open Hardware Summit and to support the open source hardware community.
Oh, God. We're here with Zach, who's evidently a moonshiner. Can you tell us a little bit about your boozy operation here?
Well, we pay our taxes, so we're not technically moonshining. We are fully federally and state permitted. We've been in business for a year now, and we've been on shelves in New York for about 6 months, since April.
Oh, very cool.
So this is our prototype product. It's number 2. We're making it out of beet sugar in a continuous fermentation process, which you can see right here. And it is distilled with a couple of nice things you can see on the back of the bottle. We are basically we created a distillery because we love making things. We love making things that make things, and we like drinking.
So, what brought you to the Open Hardware Summit?
We're looking at the bioreactor technology we're using. We have borrowed, stolen, adapted from biopharmaceutical production, and we're able to produce a bioreactor at a fraction of the cost that they're commercially available. We're looking at, once we have worked through our prototypes and figured out a firm system, we're looking at potentially having that be an open source project.
Single most important piece of equipment.
And is this the first mobile hackerspace?
As far as I know.
As far as you know? And it's an old ambulance, right?
It's an old ambulance,
Very cool.
Yeah.
And how'd you come across that?
Craigslist.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Awesome. And what do you got in there?
A little bit of everything. I got a electronics workbench, some computer systems, power, sound, whatever you need. And so I like to think of it as the ultimate geek tailgating vehicle.
Day 3, Friday. It dangles like a turd between the cheeks of the Open Hardware Summit and the Maker Faire on the weekend. So what do? How about a geek tour of Manhattan's hackerspaces and electronics shops? We met up with, holy shit, like 22 people in Hack Manhattan's tiny space.
We're about to start the Global Geek Tour of New York here at Hack Manhattan. It's a hackerspace right in the middle of New York City. Another hackerspace, another walking in the door scene.
The place is tiny, and we brought a shitload of people. Once the Oshia finished packing everyone in, Guan showed us around.
Hi, my name is Guan Yang. I'm a member here at Hack Manhattan. We are, as far as we know, the only public hackerspace in Manhattan. And you can't really get a sense from the video, perhaps, but this is a pretty small space because it's what we can afford with Manhattan rents. Sure. We have in the corner here, we have a machine shop that we're trying to build up. So we have a mini mill, a lathe, sander. We're trying to assemble all the tools that you would expect from a machine shop. Mm-hmm. We are better equipped with things in electronics and 3D printing. We have equipment, we have projects in whatever the members are interested in. So I'm standing right next to a giant cutting plotter, which a member who has worked in the fashion industry has lent us. This can, if you need patterns for like a big suit jacket or a pair of pants, you can plot it here. We have roof access, so we actually do some gardening and beekeeping. This is our beehive. There are probably like 20 or 30,000 bees in there. So we might have some, Manhattan honey. Awesome. And the plan is to convince the hipsters that Manhattan honey is the best and to sell it. The plan is just self-watering. It's actually fairly common, but we built these ourselves. So there's a reservoir of water at the bottom, and a little cup of soil that wicks up water as the plants need it.
Very cool. And
Yeah.
you say you guys have your Hackerspace parties up here.
Yes.
Stay and party with the bees? Tempting, Guan, but we have work to do. Last year, Radio Shack sponsored Maker Faire and promised to scooch aside a few cell phones to make room for an Arduino or two. We're going to find out how much it's improved at this New York University location.
Yeah, we were at Hack Manhattan, and they gave us this breakout PCB for a Joule thief, and we were going to find the components for it. We tried to look for the transistors, but both of them are not here. They do have something that we might be able to use instead as a replacement, as it needs both NPN and a PNP transistor.
We found their selection of kits and boards. So up here, this is fun. I mean, this is a row of Seed Studio stuff. Good on Seed. Down here, it's a Arduino Mega for $64.99, and then Parallax stuff, a microcontroller pack, $150, with an Arduino, a breadboard, a whole bunch of parts, and another Arduino kit for $65. 14-pin IC sockets. I haven't seen this in a Radio Shack in years and years and years. IO receivers. For the soldering irons, they got your typical $10 fire starter up here. A whole bunch of different selections of solder, including, look at this, some really fine gauge solder.
I love this switch. It's my favorite Radio Shack switch. In fact, it's probably my favorite switch ever.
But this is probably the big thing, is that these are back, but these were gone from the stores for a while, and they appear to be back, at least in this Radio Shack. Here's the tray of transistors, regulators, rectifiers, diodes. Decent selection of diodes, I guess. Some Zeners, 5.1 Zeners. And of course resistors, various sizes. So let's check in and find out how the challenge went. How successful were you?
Not really. I'm missing an inductor. They don't have any inductors at all. And the store clerk wasn't able to answer me if they had transistor replacements, since they don't have the exact transistor that we need for this Joule thief.
So not very successful.
Not really. Decent selection for a mainstream shop, but they're not quite there yet as a do-it-yourself hack shop.
I haven't been in a Radio Shack for a while. It's been a long time, and this one actually looks pretty good. It looks like there's a fair amount of stuff. I expect them to have cell phones and maybe a video cable, and so I think it's not too bad. But I couldn't find just a plain Arduino.
We're at the MakerBot store, the 3D printer. They have a store in downtown Manhattan. Inside, they've got a whole bunch of selections of their machines and different things that they've printed. They've also got the brand new MakerBot, and we're going to go in and take a look at that.
So this is the MakerBot store, as you know. We've got all the 3D designs. We are showing off the printers here. We got most of these printing all day long just to show off how they work. Everything in the store is very touchy-feely. You can pick up and handle anything you want to get a closer look at.
These are basically what makes stuff. This is the gas that goes in the cars that are our MakerBots. And this is ABS plastic, which is basically what Legos are made out of. It's a thermoplastic. You can see we have a lot of new colors for this year, like sanguine red, one of my particular favorites. And we have some fluorescent ones. We even have a glow-in-the-dark roll. And then over here is our PLA, which works on the new Rep 2 that we just started selling. And it's actually a bioplastic. It's cornstarch based. It's pretty cool.
How much does the roll cost?
They range from $45 to like $55, something like that.
Display cases are made out of 3D printed parts too. And you can see the lines. It's actually pretty cool.
This is the dork board. This is a board that I made for a class that I teach quarterly in Portland called the Arduino Cult Induction. And it's based off a design that I worked with Paul Badger with a really bare bones Arduino. And basically I came up with that for a cap.
Thank you so much. Very cool.
Yeah, have fun.
So how do you feed 18 geeks on a geek tour? Soup dumplings. And check out our huge table. I've never reserved a table for 18 people. This is quite the crowd. We're at 269 Electronics on Canal Street in Chinatown in New York. It's a very small stand at the back of a sort of a tourist hat shop. This is about a Radio Shack standard collection of resistors, capacitors. What I think is really cool about this shop is it's clear he's actually doing work here. He's got a little desk area with a soldering iron and spare parts and old parts that he's pulled.
Another slide pot! Woo! I was thinking that I can use these to do a pedal for a bass and just make like weird like noises. So these might actually be old enough that I can do that. And then these are fun because I want to do a video out. And these are like little tiny motors. You can't go wrong with little tiny motors. There's a lot of cool stuff here.
After that, we ventured down to that soaked tube New Yorkers call a subway, and right out to Queens to visit Leeds Radio, the best source for vacuum tubes and old electronic crap in the city. Only, when we get there, it's closed, due to a zombie attack. Uninfected survivors head to Maker Faire to set up tables and regroup at the after party.
After a successful Geek tour with a highly tragic ending, we're here at the New York Science Center to set up for Maker Faire tomorrow. As always, never forget your tablecloth. Check out this table. This is hideous. Do you want to show off your hard work on this? Of course not. Of course you don't. Bring a tablecloth. Number one rule of Maker Faire. So we finished setting up our table, and then afterwards there's always a party for the makers outside in the parking lot. It's raining a bit, but it's cleared up now. You can see behind me there's a huge line that's come out to line up for beer now that the rain has stopped. What did you think of the electronics stores in New York?
Well, Radio Shack didn't have that much to beat, but in Chinatown, that old guy in the back of the store having all kinds of weird old electronics, that was great.
And what do you think of the Maker Faire free party?
Great. Free beer, free t-shirts, free food. It's nice.
The maker space, or the hackerspace, and the MakerBot shop, and the dumplings, that was just awesome. We had no idea what we were going to do today, so this was. I'm really happy that we did this little trip. It was a nice finish to the Open Hardware Summit, and a great way to spend the day.
All right, now can I ask you?
Earlier,
how do you think the interview went? Was it? Here, take that, please.
You got it.
And hold on.
Lens cap.
There's a little slider.
Okay.
This is a giant crowd of nerds. Make the camera go, for crying out loud.
All right, we're recording? No, we're not.
Oh, can I make? No kidding. How many nerds does it take to turn on consumer electronics? Okay, now, you're syncing that with that. You would like to see a visual and audio clue. Just saying the word sync.
Okay.
It does our software that does it.
Oh, see?
Really? It's all software line.
Oh, you friggin' nerd. Okay, so how do you think that interview went?
I think the interview went really well. You know, the logistics and doing an interview on the move in a beer line.
I understand.
I wasn't quite prepared for that. It's something I need to rehearse a few times and maybe do it a few Maker Fairs before I get it down pat, you know?
Now, in the beginning, I noticed some hesitation because you got a very generalized answer from your interviewee.
Every time. The first question, it's always a general answer, always very nervous. So you have to keep going.
Yeah, do you have specific specifics that you use to hurdle over?
Yeah, usually you just keep prying at the same thing with different words or ask about different aspects until people get more comfortable doing it.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
Because after a while you run out of your rehearsed, like, this is what I'm going to say, and you move into, like, what you actually feel and think.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing. I shouldn't be.
No, that's it.
No, I think this would be a lot funnier if I was really serious.
Excellent.
Now, the real question is, do you think we've pretty much milked this bit as far as it's going to go?
Oh, no, we could go much further.
Because
until the beer runs out.
Well, here's
for sure.
the thing. We have two options here. We've either milked this bit and it's going to die painfully right now, or it's going to be one of those things that it's going to die, but if you just keep milking it,
even funnier again,
and it'll do it again.
Yeah. Then when we get louder, though, I'm going to turn the gain down because we're having some volume level problems. I got an auto gain, but I was advised by Chris Gamble with the amp hour that it's a piece.
Wow, nerd check.
Yeah.
Wow, did you just say that out loud?
What?
I was...
Well, you see... I took the suggestion of a review on a blog I read. Oh, Chris Gamble's more than a blog, he's an institution. And not just Chris, there's also Dave behind him. And Dave, I mean, you got to believe what Dave says.
And mind you, I'm a veritable connoisseur of blogs.
The Makeys is for the Makers of the Year in various categories, and I got Maker of the Year.
Oh, congratulations! Yay!
And so Diana Eng helped me do my makeup, and her and her friends. So LED eyelashes, and then I put together this dress that has master slave flip-flops for each of these LED nodes. Okay. And then my necklace has a 555 timer that is timing the whole ripple counter that goes through my dress.
Okay. Welcome to Dangerous Prototypes Table. I'm Ian. The world's Maker Faire. If you've been to the one in California, expect a little less Burning Man and a little more The Man. It's twice as big this year, and they sell tamales from carts around the neighborhood. How can you go wrong? Our plan for Maker Faire? hang out and see who shows up. It usually works. We're here with Sophie, who you might remember from our Bay Area Maker Faire video. Can you tell us about your new project here in New York?
My new project is called Heartbeat Biofeedback Dome, and it works on an oximeter sensor that you put your finger into, and it outputs a subwoofer speaker of your heartbeat, sound, and some LED lights that blink with your heartbeat. If you lay back on the pillows that are provided for restful enjoyment, you can slow down your heartbeat. Most people have been able to slow their heartbeat down by about 10 beats, and a lot of little kids have been jumping up and down and raising their heartbeats by about 10 beats.
At New York Maker Faire this year, we shared a table with Lewis. You might remember Lewis from our San Francisco Bay Area Maker Faire video earlier this year. He brought that project along with some new ones. Can you tell us what you've got at the table?
Sure. So I have a clock display that's showing an LED matrix behind it. It shines through the paper backing of the clock, and it can display text, and you can wirelessly send it messages to display on the clock. It's the latest update to my micro VNC project. Adds button support, so you can press a button and interact with the program that it's displaying the image for.
We're here with Matt, creator of the Hackerspace Passport. So it's open source. Have you seen copies of it out there too? Have people remade it?
There's one from, this is Shenzhen. So this one was one of my favorites because they got all the details right. They really understood the details. There was a UK version that was formatted like a UK passport. There have been some clever redesigns, but there have also been some fun, subtle ones where people change the jokes or the pictures, where like the your photo here is actually an anonymous mask. The best part about releasing it open source was that people were free to be cleverer than I am.
We're here with the one and the only Squeaky Beaver. Can you tell us about your micro CC?
I came up with this little programmable load, basically, and I've been playing with it. It's been extremely useful. Unfortunately, the potentiometer, you can't turn it fine enough to get really good resolution. So I came up with a digital controlled version that uses a microprocessor, a digital to analog converter, and I have been able to get somewhere near 10 nanoamp resolution with it. This is an ultra bright LED. It doesn't look very bright right now. That's because we're only putting 36 microamps through it. As I turn the knob, you can see it's changing in nearly 10 nanoamp increments.
Ben just stopped by and showed us a new Hackerspace Passport we've never seen before.
Designed and made in Nottingham in England.
Oh, cool.
So we a couple of us had the US version, and thought we needed at least a UK or a European slightly wider version. So we one of the guys at Nottingham designed it, put it together.
At the heart of Rocket Brand Studios is Tiny Tank and Medium Tank. This little guy is autonomous, but what I did, added this small Bluetooth module. Ting! And I can also use the RocketBot robot controller app. So now, via app and Bluetooth, I've got push button drive. I also have tilt.
Right now what we're showing is the ChipKit platform, which is an Arduino compatible platform that actually uses a PIC microcontroller. In fact, it uses a 32-bit microcontroller. So it offers a lot more horsepower in the way of operating speed. It's got a lot more memory. We got a line following demo here. It's using an Arduino motor control shield along with some SparkFun IR sensors on the bottom.
This is what I call a Bunraku video puppet, and I developed this with my students at the New York City College of Technology. It is a fully interactive puppet where the puppeteer can move around a stage, be in complete darkness, and project their face into the puppet, as you can see here.
This is the Pancake Bot. It's basically a pancake CNC. It's all made out of Legos, and except for a ketchup bottle. It allows you to draw any type of shape that you want on pancakes. To make a shape that we want, I use an AutoCAD program to draw a 3D polyline, and then I extrapolate that 3D polyline data, run it through a Python script, and then that gives me the units that I need, and it can read it.
From the Open Hardware Summit to Maker Faire Insanity, we met great geeks and ate tasty things along the way. I didn't like New York last time, but it's grown on me. Now, it's back into that $70 cab to JFK and back to the workshop. Remember, don't stay in the conference hotel, meet up with other geeks, and don't forget to sync.
Sink. 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 Sink.
Wait. Sink.
Sink. Sink. Sink. Sink. Sink. Sink. Sink.
We did.
Sink. Sink.